Hello folks and welcome back. I thought I'd just give you a little catch up. I've been on my travels for the last couple of weeks, so not been on the allotment. Amazing how quick the weeds I'm still growing though. But saying that, 22nd now, and definitely the autumn nip is in the air. In fact, I was checking the temperature, the outside thermometer, we went down to 3 degrees last night, so I think I can safely say I'm going to pack my shorts away. It's not going to be a long one, as I said. All I want to do now is start and gather what harvests out on the plot before the cold weather really does come and wreck it. So come and have a look. These outdoor tomatoes have done really well. There's still quite a few fruits on there. Some have turned, but most of them are green. What I'm going to do, I'm going to actually get all the fruits off now, store them in some crates and see how they go on. Also the marigolds, I think next year I'm going to go a bit easier on the marigolds. They have got a bit rampant and taken over in a few places. And I've still got some beetroot down in the middle valleys here as well. So what I'm going to do, say, is take all these out. I'll start with the marigolds first because I want to try and fill up my council bin and get that out. Compost bin down there bottom is full. And the other thing is, I've recently ordered a load of cow manure. I'm going to split it with another plot holder. I think the load is around about 7 or 8 tonne in total, so I'll be having half of that and I'll be using that to top dress the beds. So I do really want to get these beds cleared in time for it to arrive. Surprising when you look the size of the root ball on these African marigolds. A really good spread on them. So I think next year I'll be using the French marigolds to go between the tomatoes. With the African marigolds out, it gives us a better insight as to what we've got with the tomatoes. Got the odd, say, beetroot in the middle. Regarding weeds this year, apart from the usual mare's tail and bindweed, there's two that I've been plagued with. One's rosebay willow herb, but the other one's been the worst of all, is this stuff, and this is called chickweed. All it does is it covers the bedding like a carpet. It's very easy to get out, but it's a pain. In my early days I used to breed and show canaries and they actually loved this stuff, but times it was hard to get hold of, especially when trying to find it which hadn't been treated with pesticides or something. But now I've got plenty of it, I don't need it as usual way anyway. I'm going to have a look now what tomatoes we got. That's all the tomatoes out now. Amazing, there's quite a lot on the floor which has either fallen, started to go rotten or split. I've put them in that tub there, so I'll dispose of them probably in the council bin. I don't want the seeds going everywhere. All that's left on here now is the beetroot, so I'm going to harvest those. There's the beetroot harvest. The variety is called Bolt Hard, the usual variety to grow. There's one or two a bit bigger than I'd normally let them go to, but nevertheless I'm happy to collect those. Probably gone a bit woody, I don't know. But what I'm going to do with these, I'll put them into storage. I'll end up just twisting the tops off, put them in some aerated crates and pop them into the cold frame. Personally, I find with beetroot, for me, is to twist the stalks off rather than cut them, and also to leave some on, don't get going right down to the body of the beetroot, otherwise I find the bleed a lot. So by just leaving a few stems on, that works for me. As we move into autumn or fall, depending on which part of the world you are, ideal time now to think about top dressing the beds. And in my case, there's nothing better than using this, which is cow manure. Believe it or not, this load here is only half the size that it was when it was delivered. It actually spread all the way round here. And in total, I would guess this is around about 8 imperial tons. And this has been shared by 2 allotment sites. Originally I was having a load of this myself, but the guy who I was sharing with has unfortunately gone down with shingles and he's really quite bad with it, so I think he's going to be out of action for quite a while. So what's happened, the one plot holder has actually taken as much as they need and says I'm happy to share what's left on their side to do my beds, and I think looking at that there'll be more than enough to see me going through this year. So I'm going to get my wheelbarrow and start, I don't know, probably about 10 loads a day, and hopefully come the end of the week I'll have got the 4 main beds top dressed. The beds in general are not too bad a condition. The 3 main ones up that end are all covered, this one's open. I've got a few little surface weeds on here, just a bit of chickweed and whatever, so what I'm going to do is get the hoe, run that across the top just to break them up from the soil, and then put the manure along the top, primarily in the middle, because as you can see from the size probably, the edging now is completely gone. So put that in the middle, and the plan over the next few months, as long as I can get it done by April, I want to get the slabs up the side to form the new edging, and then I can dig this in, and in the meantime the worms can enjoy themselves pulling this down into the soil. Cow manure is a very dense material, and shifting a load like this takes a fair bit of effort. The wheelbarrow is 120 litres to the level top, however this is stacked much higher than that, so I would guess there's a good 150 litres plus in here. I could put a smaller load in, but that would mean more journeys. One round trip from the manure dump to my plot and back is around 200 metres, so the less journeys the better for me, and that's why I stack it up. I do have a rest every 3 to 4 journeys though. Well, there's the first batch done, 3 beds on here, and I think it took about 9 barrows. What I'm going to do, repeat that on the other 3 sections there, and hopefully that'll see it done. If you noticed, I've left a little patch out in the middle here where the leaks, I've left a bit of surplus muck on there, so when they come out I'll actually pop that across the top. And what I will do, I'll leave this open to the elements, and then I think I'll just get rid of the straw, break it down a little bit after a couple of 3 weeks. What I'll do, I'll bring you back after I've done each section so you can see the progress. Well, that's another big growing area covered, and I've actually started on the middle bed there where the celery is. A third of that's done. I've actually run out of manure, but unfortunately for me, another plot holder's ordering another load, and I'm going to see if I can come to a negotiation and get about 10 barrow loads and that, just to finish the rest off. Well, it's been hard work, especially towards the end. It's each barrow seemed to go heavier and heavier. So there's 21 barrows in total. So that's, I think, just over 3,000 litres. So if you imagine a builder's dumpy bag, 3 of them shifted in a day, that ain't bad. And 21 journeys, that's 4,000 metres. So imagine shifting a barrow that far full of muck. Somebody approaching 70, it's advisable, but nonetheless, it's a job what they's doing, and I've done it now. So hopefully join me tomorrow, and we'll see where else we get.